Hi, welcome to She Connects. I'm Anita Cheng and
I'm Lily from AiYa Marketing.
thanks Lily, thanks for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on to She Connects, live workshops and podcasts where we share the values of trust, empowerment and collaboration.
Very excited to be here.
Thanks Lily, thanks for coming, that's for sure. You came all the way from the city, all the way to my little podcast studio in Fairfield where we're reaching the wider Western Sydney community.
I love it. I think what you're doing is great, actually. Connecting people, people who have contacts, and just bringing people together. It's great.
That's right. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Lily, tell me a little bit about yourself. I know you've registered a new business and you're starting off on your own. Tell me a little bit about why.
Yeah, so it's a funny story actually, well maybe not so funny, but basically in January, or before January, I was working for a big commercial real estate company.
Yep.
And unfortunately due to some structure changes I was made redundant. And so at that point in time I had a choice to make.
Yep.
If I wanted to find another role,
Yep.
or if I wanted to take this opportunity and make something of it and start my own thing. And so instead of a 9 to 5, I decided to choose 24/7. Really?
That is so honest. Like the glory or the whole glamorization of self-employed is working your own hours, correct? But I have not had the luxury to work 9 to 5 ever since my own journey. So kudos to you for choosing the harder life, but it will be rewarding.
Yes, I think so, definitely.
Yeah. So I guess coming from marketing is your background. Can you tell me a bit what AiYa Marketing is about and how you got to the name?
Yeah, so AiYa Marketing, it's something that resonates with me, with my background, because I'm Chinese Vietnamese.
Chinese Vietnamese.
Yeah,
Oh.
and so I guess AiYa is a term that can be used in so many different settings. Right? It's very flexible, it's open to interpretation as well. Be like, AiYa, or like, AiYa, or like, AiYa. It's just one word with so many different meanings behind it, and it's kind of the same as for marketing. It's open for interpretation. It's all subjective.
That's true. That's
and
true.
so I think it just kind of ties everything in together.
Yes.
And I think just the exclamation of AiYa is just very memorable.
That's true. That's true. That's very similar. So my office is in Fairfield, and I have a lot of Middle Eastern cultured people and clients that come through, and the word yalla.
Yes.
Is very similar to AiYa.
I think every culture has its own version of
That's
it. Really.
true. And the more I embrace myself in the Western Sydney community, I am picking up little words very similar to our Chinese culture, which is almost the same.
Yeah.
The meaning is almost the same, and that's very creative of you, that's for sure. I love your branding. I love your power suit here today.
Thank you.
Your feminine energy is embraced, and the boss energy that's come through is shining.
Oh, thank you so much. I tried.
Well, I guess the next question is, tell me a bit about your background.
So I started off my career in retail.
Yep.
And from retail I moved into B2B, B2B business.
Yep.
So it's kind of similar to real estate, but it's actually for businesses. And then from there I went into commercial real estate / property. And so throughout all my roles, I've been able to learn a whole bunch of skills, from traditional marketing like TVC, radio, print, out-of-home marketing, all the way through to digital marketing, email, social media, like digital ads, all of that stuff. And I think just bringing it all together, it gives me a holistic set of skills that can be applied anywhere, really. Yeah.
Oh, when you say anywhere, I feel like marketing is everywhere.
Yes.
Right? And it comes back down to me as an individual, right? Where I use Instagram, I use TikTok, I use Facebook marketing, I use just a general user of social media, right? So I get targeted all the time, right? And I think we don't take upon the lens that whatever we post it's an exposure to the world. Is that correct?
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah, and you don't realize that whatever you're posting will be seen by someone.
Yeah.
Whether it's a family or friend, whether it's a happy moment or a sad moment, or whether it's a comment or two. What are your views on an individual, for example, Instagram profile to a business profile? Are they the same? Are we doing it so naturally that it's the same concept, or is it a different lens?
Oh, so I think it's a in between, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think for a personal profile, there are certain things that you share on there that you wouldn't necessarily share on like a professional profile, right? However, I feel like these days for a business profile, you need that bit of a personal touch. When people are watching your videos, watching your content, they want to be able to relate to the person behind the camera or the person behind the business. So it can't just purely be
me hanging out with my mates.
Yeah, correct. But it also can't be on the other side of the spectrum where it's purely just about business. It's like, you need to do this, you need to do that, and people don't like that anymore. People don't like being told what to do, right?
100%.
And so, it needs to be a good mix of the two in between. But I think also you don't want to expose too much of your personal life either, because of the effect that it could have on the people around you too.
Yeah.
So I think you need to have a good balance.
Yeah. Because I guess coming from, I guess myself is a bit of, when I was working inside the banks, I would say I had a bit of exposure in marketing, had a exposure in product, had a exposure in lending. So I'm a good mix of both worlds from my own interpersonal story. And I guess coming from a small business owner that's been around for 2 years, I find it quite difficult to find the time to market myself, promoting campaigns, creating digital products that would appeal to my clientele, as well as doing the whole finding clients, networking, and also loan writing for now. Like, how is that important for small business owners who's just started their journey of starting their own business?
Yeah, look, it's a real juggling act, huh? Yeah, so I mean, look, I think a lot of small business owners are going through that these days. There's so many hats that they need to be wearing. And so to be able to juggle all of that is so difficult. I mean, for example, for marketing, it can be very time consuming. Especially if you don't know, what you're posting, when to post, what your audience resonates with, all of that stuff. And so I guess like for me, the reason why I started my business is to help small business owners like yourself alleviate that stress, to take that away from you, so that I'm planning your content, I'm creating the artwork for you, I'm creating the copy for you, I'm scheduling for you, so that it's one thing that's off your plate, so that you can really focus on actually running your business,
doing what I do best.
Exactly, and catering to your clients the way that you can best do. So that's kind of like where I come in, because honestly, every small business owner is going through the exact same thing.
I think so too. And like, I guess in my first year, I tried to do the bookkeeping, the marketing, the PR, the website design, everything. And I feel like just being a social media creator, that's a full-time job.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. And then you're adding on tasks that you have to do to get your business up and running that you don't really know too much about. For example, website creation. It's not just making something look pretty.
That's right.
There's a lot of back-end things that you need to consider too. SEO, keywords, where it all routes to, best user experience, all of that. And so I think for things like that, it is definitely valued to like find someone else to help you with that.
I think so.
And that it'll hopefully get done right the first time.
Yeah, well, I guess as a new business owner, everything's new to you. Like, thankfully I had the marketing skills behind me, not to your knowledge or to your experience, that if I was to start a business, I knew how to create a website. But for people who don't know, that could be very daunting.
Very. And also I think the cost associated with it as well, it can all add up. And so you're always worried about, am I doing the right thing? Is this what's going to get clicks? Is this how I'm going to get inquiries? And yeah, it just all builds up, and it can get very, very stressful.
Very overwhelming.
Yeah.
That's true. I remember, Google Ads wasn't my, I didn't have experience with Google Ads before, and I realized the first couple of days that I posted a campaign or an ad, the bill was $700.
Ooh.
That wasn't a cheap lesson, but the number of clicks was there, but the people who actually needed my services didn't get the return of $700 in the first couple of days of me opening my own business.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times is clicks, like you said, you get paid by clicks, or
Yes.
call to actions, or building funnels, like this and that. This is all new world to new businesses, people who's just dropped out of the professional world to start their own. Like we don't have the capacity to even have marketing within our budgets, right? I guess what are some small services that you can provide to new businesses that could help alleviate that?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing that I can help with is website design.
Yep.
When you are starting your own business, you need to have online presence.
Yep.
Always online presence. And the first thing that people do when they learn about your business is go online, search up your business name. If you don't have a website, you haven't exactly lost them, but it's much harder to convert them.
Yeah, I realize, even like if it's not a website, it's a Google profile or something like that, or a Facebook
social media page
or an Instagram page. Like, for example, when I go into a restaurant or someone's told me a restaurant, I will instantly, subconsciously, put their name in my browser and see what comes up, what pictures look nice, what is appealing, is this what I want, is this worth my time? Like these are all credible things in the digital world that I guess when you first started you don't know, and you don't know how to present it to the world. I guess when I'm talking to the older generation, where they've always haven't relied on digital, but they want to go digital. How can you help the older generation of small business owners or even medium size?
Yeah, so I guess for me, I can help them with their basically the online presence, right?
Yeah.
I can help create their social media pages for them. I can work with them, right? It really depends on what their goals are for that social media page or their website, right? If they want to get more impressions, if they want to get more click-throughs, if they want to get more conversions, I'll work with them to achieve their goals. Because at the end of the day, I'm not here to tell them what they need. They tell me what they need, and then I will help them achieve those, right? To help them get there. And so I can basically take all of that from them and create something so that they don't have to. So for example, if a business has a sale, right, and they want to advertise it on Facebook, on Instagram, if they want to have like a promotion, an email sent out, or an SMS, right? They have a database of mobile numbers of their existing clients. I can send an SMS out for them, because I feel like SMS works quite well these days, especially with promotions. It's easy to access. They can just, click on a link, take them straight to the sale page. No need to be Googling, no need to, do any of that stuff. And it's on their phones.
That's true.
Very,
Everyone
very accessible.
is on their phones.
Correct, yeah.
If it's not a Tinder message, then, you get one from your local business.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I think all of that stuff, they don't really number one know about it, and number two, they don't know how to execute it. And so that's where I can come in to help them with that.
That's true. And there are a lot of successful businesses doing well without digital, but I guess the growing market today for Gen Ys, millennials, Generation Alpha, Generation Beta coming along, it's only going to get a bit more stressful, and it's going to be more digital than ever.
Yes, 100%. I definitely agree with that. And I think at the age that kids are being exposed to digital these days as well, it's so much earlier than it used to be back in our day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I guess, like, for small businesses, I found that posting is not enough. There's a piece of the pie where I educate people around me where posting is great, but engagement is what you need.
Oh, 100%.
And they don't really understand what engagement is. And a clear example I give to them is you're walking into a bar, These people don't know you. What is the difference on a digital platform?
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same, really.
Exactly.
You need to, not only just post, but you need to be interacting with your followers' pages. You need to be commenting. You need to be basically saying like, "Hey, I'm here." And you know what? Doing it once is not enough.
That's
you need to continue. You need to be consistent. I think consistency is key.
Yeah.
Even just posting, right? Posting
right.
consistently is definitely key. Because there is a ratio marketing. You need to be in front of people 7 times before they even think about clicking on your ad or clicking on your page.
That's true.
Yeah. And that's just clicking. Think about how many more exposure you need to give to them in order for them to actually convert.
Beautiful. No, that's great to know. And something for us to all think about. I guess coming through, I know you're very passionate about marketing. What's something that you're working on the side?
So at the moment, funnily enough, I am on a podcast. But I actually do podcasts, I actually produce podcasts as well. So I go out, I film, I edit, I create shorts, I take snippets out of it. And it's something that I have only recently come in to do. So probably in about the last year or so. But look, podcast is such a growing form of marketing. I can definitely see that growing much more in the future.
Great.
So
that's good because I feel like, podcasts, live videos or YouTube, they're all visual. They're all, you can hear it, you can speak it, you can feel it, right? It's another part of marketing referencing. Even before meeting the person in person.
Yeah.
So that call to action or that sort of exposure will let people know what you do and how you present it to the world. And I think that's super important.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that people don't realize is how easy it is to get content. People think, I need to create new things every single time I post. I need to take more photos, I need to take new photos or new videos. But that's not the case. So for example, the podcast episode that we're doing now, you can break it up into like 20, 30, 40 different clips. And that is 40 clips, 40 content pieces right there for you.
Ready to rock and roll.
Ready, right? With just half an hour, 1 hour of filming time. So it's not a huge investment.
That's
right.
true.
It's just taking the time to actually cut those pieces up and thinking about how you want to use it.
That's right.
Right? Because you can't just post like you said earlier. You need to think about how to actually go about getting your message up there.
So Lily, what do you like to do outside of work?
Actually, lately I've really been enjoying baking.
Baking?
Yeah. So
never knew.
I kind of started like a I actually really enjoy it. I found it really therapeutic. So recently in the last couple of years I've been making a lot of like pineapple tarts. During Chinese New Year and like Christmas and Mother's Day. I think my friends and family really enjoy having it. Just something about chopping pineapples. It's very therapeutic.
Wow, that wouldn't be on my first thing when I think about therapy sessions. I think about shopping and
like an outlet.
I think about shopping and not chopping.
And also another thing that I really enjoy doing is making bread.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're definitely a baker.
Yeah. I should give you some bread sometime.
I eat bread, but I don't bake bread. I like smelling bread, but I don't like making bread.
Trust me, there's nothing better than freshly baked bread that comes out of the oven.
That smell.
Oh my god, so good.
So good.
So good. Good. I don't know, just kneading the dough and just kind of I go into like my Zen mode for some reason. I'm just like kneading and I'm just thinking or watching something and honestly it's a really good pastime.
Wow.
Bit of me time.
Bit of you time. I feel like we're slightly different. I enjoy a clean house. So whenever I'm stressed, to de-stress, I actually just clean.
Oh really? You want to come over to my place? When are you stressed, Anita?
Well, I don't know, man. But my way of like de-stressing is to declutter. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not baking for me. But, you know, I'm sure you found where there's a knife, there's a pineapple, and there's some correlation between. Yeah, so weird, but so good. Okay, thanks for sharing that. I will keep that in mind next time I see a knife. And a pineapple, no. But I have had your tarts before. You have shared it with me and my family as well. They're really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, like I feel like they're actually healthy, and I'm not eating lard.
Oh yeah, no. I definitely make it healthy. You know, I also gotta, you know, be careful of how much sugar I put into my stuff too. I know that just feels sick. Yeah.
Well, like we're getting older now, and you know, time is the ultimate currency, and I always say that on my podcast with other co-hosts as well. And I would say, you know, how do you like to spend like your free time? Like I know content itself is very time consuming. You also need to have passion, and you also need to seek inspiration. How do you yourself unwind, and how do you get the inspiration for others?
I think being outdoors. I like just, you know, sometimes you just want to be away from devices. You know, trust me, I'm in marketing, right? I understand the devices is everything, especially with like exposure and reach. But sometimes it's good to just go back to basics and just enjoy what's around us, right? Because there are things that you don't realize that you can. There are things that you don't appreciate in your busy day-to-day life. So it's good to just step back a little bit.
Nature.
Nature. Just go for a walk. It doesn't have to be, you know, going for a hike or doing, you know, was it Kilimanjaro or anything like that. You don't just go out for like a walk. You know, and just enjoy your surroundings. You know, I find that we often take things for granted. And yeah, it's just going back to basics. For sure. Yeah.
I know. I lived in the Shire, and I used to love going for walks on Cronulla Beach.
Oh yeah.
That would be my 6 a.m. Not a 5 a.m. a 6 a.m. right? Sort of
just after sunrise.
Just after sunrise. Walk 7 kilometers. Feel like I did something healthy, and then eat an acai bowl.
And it's very. Acai bowl's actually healthy.
It's healthy to a certain extent. You don't overeat because it's again full of fruit sugars. But obviously there's not a health channel. And I ain't no health freak, but I do love my good food, and I know you do too. Is there any type of food that you love enjoying to eat?
Oh, honestly, anything Japanese. And like I definitely, so basically, as you know, I went to New Zealand just a couple of weeks ago.
That's right.
And I did snowboarding again. I hadn't done it in like 10 years.
Wow.
And when I say I hadn't done it in 10 years, I did it once 10 years ago. I don't know how that counts.
Does that count?
Yeah, so I did it again, and oh my god, it was amazing. Just being on the snow, being in snow. You know, you don't get snow in Sydney that often, and unless you go to Perisher. But just being in the city and in the snow, like right there together at the same time, it was absolutely incredible. But my point is, since I love Japanese food, we're actually thinking of going to Japan in January.
Oh my god!
To experience the snow, experience like all the good Japanese food.
I've
like living the dream.
I've had a lot of family and friends just go to Japan for the snow. They're like, it doesn't compare to Australia.
Yeah, I've heard. I think we all need to go.
I think so too. I'm due for my whiskey tour in Japan.
Please sponsor us.
Singapore Airlines. Japan Airlines. But I'm sure we'll be podcasting from Japan.
Oh, yeah, always. And you know what? I think that's the beauty, right, of having your own business, is that you can actually just do it from anywhere. Yeah, you don't have to be tied up in Sydney or to the four walls of your office. Literally anywhere.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I also think that's where the 24/7 comes into play too.
So me and Lily's friendship has gone back for probably about 5 to 6 years now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. And a bit of our story was I was actually the MC of your own wedding.
You were, yeah.
I know.
Great MC you were. Highly recommend everybody. Highly recommend, guys.
Too much pressure. I only do it for good friends, just FYI. But no, I had lots of fun at your wedding, and you put a lot of effort into planning the event, to even the smaller details of your own personal event. Like, it's crazy. It's this one day, everyone like wants to live that one day, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
How did you feel as a female planning the whole thing yourself?
I think, honestly, I feel like I had one of the most chill experiences in planning a wedding, to be honest.
Cool. Yeah.
I wasn't too stressed at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the most stressful part for me was picking up what my bridesmaids' colours were going to be. Yeah.
Wow.
I think I spent about 2 months trying to decide that.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Only because I really, really did not want pink. I mean, I'm wearing pink now, but I think for my wedding, or my husband's and I wedding, I just didn't want pink. Just for me personally, and so I ended up with the color purple.
Lilac, right? Lilac purple.
Yeah, lilac.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought it was I loved it.
You loved it?
It was such a fun experience.
It was such a beautiful wedding from my memory. And I would say a lot of the skills in marketing, of planning and, event coordination and communicating to your vendors and, I guess, politics around your wedding. That was a lot of marketing skills that you've gained professionally that you passed on to your own event.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, now that you mention it, definitely.
Yeah.
I think time management and like multitasking and juggling and like the politics thing, luckily I didn't have much of it.
Unlike me.
Thank you to all my friends and my family. So I think I was very, very lucky in that aspect. But yeah, definitely, because I also had my wedding in Phuket in Thailand.
That's
so
right.
that added like a whole other layer of complexity into the planning process. There's like language barriers, there's
restrictions of what you can bring and bring not.
Correct, yeah. And like I think the skills that I had to bring into my personal life is, like what I mentioned, time management, communication, and just having like a schedule on like the planning side of things.
That's right. And I remember you sharing that with me as your MC at your own wedding, that you had a proposal pack ready to rock and roll. I was so amazed at that. I was just like, I need to do that for my wedding. No one's going to listen, or whatever I'm saying in one year might go out the other, and I'll have to repeat it 10 times before anything gets done.
I mean, I think my document was about 20 pages.
I was very impressed. Like, it came everything from who's involved, what should be done, what to expect on the day, any scripting that needs to be happened, or any call outs that we wanted to see on the day. That was all part of your marketing plan for that day.
Yeah, for sure.
And I guess coming back to the professional world, you would also replicate that for any events that you would do
100%.
or help do with smaller businesses, correct? Yeah.
Not just events though, in everyday, in everything to do with marketing. Even for like social media content, you need to be able to plan ahead.
That's right.
Posting live is great, but then it's so time consuming, it's so tiring to be doing that every single
it's
day.
draining that you have to think about it every day.
Yeah, correct, And so if you're planning it out, things that you can, do in advance, fantastic. Obviously, everyone still needs to see what you do day to day. When you've come across something funny, or when you've come to like a little zen moment in your day, or when you meet a client on the street randomly and you bump into each other, you get a coffee. But how I do this for my clients is, working with them. So for example, I talk to them about what their priorities are, right? So what's coming up in July?
What's important to you in your business in July?
Correct. What's happening in July in your business?
Right? You want to know at least 6 weeks in advance so you can plan it correctly.
I can like map it all out. I can communicate with them. There's enough time for approval processes in place, because communication is key. And also, I don't want to be pushing something out on my clients' pages that is not approved or that is incorrect, right? Because not only does it look bad on me, but it makes my client look bad to their audience. And so I think that's really, really important to have the transparency across the board. And so, yeah, just like linking that back to my wedding as well, just transparency. And that's why I created that document, to keep everybody in check.
Everyone in
All
check.
the answers are there.
Expectations are there. Answers
Correct.
are there, but if you read it, unfortunately, they may or may not do.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. I would say, like planning is key for all small businesses, and doing things that you love and you're good at is the key focus. Marketing is a function that you can outsource. Whether it's digital marketing or social media marketing, events, or even creating a creative profile for yourself, right? It's all part of everyday marketing now, which I guess not everyone thinks about. Whatever you're posting online, whatever you're buying, or whatever you're listening to your friends or their recommendations, it's all actually marketing.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and I think the personal marketing side of it is really important too. Because people look at a business profile and they're like, cool, great. They know who the owner is, and they're like, okay, this person either is like really cool and like has personality, or is like I'm able to relate to them and I'm able to engage with them, or is like
maybe not. I'll get some reference checks for that. And this is where connection is key as well in marketing, where I found like you said, I found, let's say, information that I shouldn't know or that I did know from people about this certain business or this business owner or this certain type of exposure on the news that I've heard of. It makes me think twice about my money and where it goes. I would say, unfortunately, some of the banks or some of the lenders got exposed for corruption or something about human trafficking or supporting violence overseas, and these are things that I get exposed in the media, which makes me reflect, crap, is this where my money's going? Or if the government collects taxes and the parliament or something like that is spending money on overseas holidays, damn, it makes me think twice, why am I working so hard in general
for the execs, right?
For the execs, why am I? Just why? Like I'm always like money oriented. I like to align my values to what I believe this person or this business deserves my dollar value. And it's crazy how people think about perception and judgment. It all comes together. It all comes together, and like I said, small business owners don't really have time, but they love what they do. But how they present themselves to the world, I don't think they think about enough. Obviously, every industry has industry standards or guidelines. Is there any hits or tips for small business owners?
For marketing specifically? Consistency. Number one. Always consistency. Understanding your audience. Well, actually, before that, defining who your audience is, right? Because if you don't define your audience, you don't know how to talk to them. You don't know what they're interested in. So definitely posting consistently, engaging with your audience consistently, like on a daily basis for sure. Understanding who your audience is, because for example, if your audience is, say, for example, my audience is small business owners, right? Between 1 up to 5 people. I consider that as my audience for a small business, right? So I wouldn't be talking as though I'm talking to a large corporation.
That's true.
It's just not going to resonate.
That's true.
So there's no point. It's just going to fall on deaf ears, and just understanding what your audience want. Another tip is to have a to have a cohesive. If you're wanting to do marketing yourself, have a cohesive marketing strategy. Just because you're posting on social media doesn't mean that your other marketing channels don't need to follow as well. So for example, if you're posting a sale on Instagram and on Facebook, your website needs to reflect that. Your email marketing needs to reflect that. If you're changing brand, it all needs to reflect that all in one. So I think it's about thinking through things holistically. Yeah.
I would say, what does cohesive mean in your world? For viewers that don't know, like me, like I know, like sometimes we always work for big corporations, right? And it took me a while to reflect and target my audience who are just normal community members to change my style of marketing, the way I speak to them, and how to educate them. Like, how do you do it in your world?
So cohesiveness in marketing is about when you're putting out a message, be consistent, right? Because when someone, and this is when coming back to the 7 points of contact, right? The 7 points of contact can be Instagram, Instagram Reels, Facebook posts. It can be SMS, it can be Google AdWords, it can be website, it can be a billboard or something, right? Or Spotify ad. Those messages on all 7 of those platforms need to be the same, right? Because it's like you're pushing out a campaign, but if they're all saying different things, your audience is going to get so confused.
That's right, the word is confusing.
Very confused. Confusion so you need to not confuse people. Correct.
Right. That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
So I guess that in my strategy is I guess having a strong brand for my clients, and then basically using those brand guidelines to push it out throughout, because content is one thing, but also visually what they see. When they see a piece of content, when they see a photo, you want it to be like, that's She Connects.
That's right.
Right?
That's
you
right.
want them to be able to recognize you straight away. Recognition is so important. Yeah. Because I guess like in branding, there's like recognition, recall, repetition. Like exactly. And I think that's another thing as well that's really important, is to have really strong call to action. Add value. For the tips and tricks that you were asking me, add value to your audience.
That's true.
I cannot stress how important that's probably number one, actually. I don't know why I didn't say it earlier. Adding value to your audience. If you don't add value, they're going to go somewhere else.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's not about the immediate return that you're going to get from it, but it's via the long-term returns that you're going to get. Yeah, correct.
Of your sales, essentially.
Correct. Right. Because like what you were saying before about how easy it is for companies to fall, but how easily it is for big companies to have their reputation tarnished via a scandal or data leaks or whatever it may be.
Which is more and more common because this is a digital era.
Yes.
Yeah, that we all have to adapt and protect.
Yeah. So, like, reputation can go so quickly.
That's true. A clear example was Optus, right?
Yeah.
The Optus
not naming names.
But hey, these are all things on the media where there's reference to it. We're not pulling out companies or pulling out different. We're not naming and shaming, but these things have happened and we need to learn from it. Not on a big scale, but as individuals, like, hey, is this person reputable because my data is protected? Or, has this company done right by the environment? Or has this company, supported the right charities or non-for-profits, for example, with the value add that I bring in? Right? There's all these subconscious little questions about where the individual adds value or the client. When it comes back to the holistic view of marketing, right? Is it just advertising? No, it's a little bit of a deeper level. Is it the psychology? Maybe, partly, but it all comes back down to the business plan, where you as a director or you as a small business owner can actually drive that.
And like another example of like adding value, right? And this is something you do really well. I gotta say.
Wait for it.
Just bringing people together, right? Value doesn't mean giving dollar signs to people. it's not all about just giving content or giving workbooks or anything like that. It's bringing people together, connecting with different people, without expecting anything in return either. I mean, like long term, you'll get the connection, you get the network. But so for example, the workshop that we're hosting, that's adding value.
That's true. And I guess the whole mission behind that is we want to connect like-minded people together. We want to add value back into the community. We want people to be educated, to be independent enough to make the right decisions, right? And that's the whole core of, I guess, She Connects, where we're exposing our personalities online. We're exposing our interpersonal stories on how we got there. We want you to feel trusted, but we want to empower you to want these things before you even collaborate with us.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, the beauty of, I guess, She Connects, where we're not sponsored. We're actually giving time, because I value time as currency, where it doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter where, you have the heart to educate people will recognize this good character that you have.
Yeah.
Whether you want to do it with money, hey, maybe people don't have time, people want to put it with money, they can. Or people want to give out time and give out knowledge and give out mindset changes. To me, that has more value than any dollar can.
Oh yeah.
Although it may be something small, but we want it to be empowering enough that people don't need to rely on others, or don't fall victim, or don't have a negative mindset. This is where we kind of help each other.
Yeah.
And this is where we all collaborate together. But like, hey, it's my time. I'm ready for the next step in life.
Yeah.
For even small business owners, right? It's not just about a one-off transaction. It's not one marketing campaign. It's not one product that will get you to the next step in life. It's, like you said, consistency, how real you are to the community. It's about showing up. Right? It's about showing up for when, not just your customers in need, for your staff is in need, or let's talk about marketing for, let's say, staff benefits, right? Everyone, there is marketing in almost every action you do.
Yeah.
But how you want to give back and how you want to be perceived in the world, everyone's still learning.
Yeah. I think it's a huge learning curve. And also because we're always changing through, as we grow as well. So even though we kind of perfect or get close to perfection at one stage of life, when you move to the next stage of life, it's a whole other learning curve already. But you know what? That's what personal development is, right?
And I would say with your services, right? For example, if a new client was to approach you, be like, "Hey Lily, I want to start a business," or "Lily, I have an existing business." What is the action plan when someone reaches out to you?
Yeah. So basically, what I do is sit down with them, catch up, maybe an hour or so, understand what they want, what they want to achieve for their business. Right? Because every business goal is different. I mean, I guess the end goal is to make money, right?
That would be nice.
So the end goal, so then working with them and what their needs are. So if they want to grow their email database, if they want to connect more with their audience, if they want to plan meet and greets or events for their business, and then I'll sit down with them and come up with a strategy with them. So more or less on the spot or via email, and then see what they think of it, because the most important thing to me is that the client is happy, right? That is going to get them to where they want to be, right? Because it's not about me, it's about them.
Of course.
Yeah.
We are a professional service.
Yes.
My world and your world is what can get the best outcome.
Yeah. So after that, once we've nutted all that out, I will then go and execute it and create a mock. So for example, if they're wanting social media management, I'll mock up about a couple of weeks of content, just mock it up. send it through to them, see if they're happy with the direction that it's going in. If they're not, we can adjust, we can tweak if there's any like miscommunication or if I didn't understand something.
Is this the vibe yours?
Correct.
Is the colour content
if that's
correct?
like the language that they want to use, is the vibe that they want to give off to their clients. Working with them on that, and then once they're happy with it, then I can roll out, the full month. They'll go and approve it, and then I'll schedule it all out. So I guess after the first meeting, most of it is online. Unless my client prefers to meet in person, then definitely happy to do that. And then what I always do for my clients is I give them a report at the end of each month, or in the beginning of the following month. Right? Correct. Just how their posts are doing, what's their audience engaging with, what the reach is, the growth, month on month. Because I think that's really important, right?
100%.
There's no point in pushing out content if you don't see the growth or if you're not seeing the results that you want to achieve.
That's right. And we're not asking, to do, well, everything is growth, right? Month on month, year on year. Like, we can't expect marketing to be an instant fix or a band-aid solution. And this is where people, I would say, smaller business owners don't understand this. Or even big corporations. It doesn't even have to be. It's more like, okay, we spent money on this, now what's the return? Right? Like, it's an instant thing. It's like a scratchy. Okay, I bought a scratchy, I'm gonna scratch it, and I didn't win. What?
What do you mean I didn't win?
Yeah,
$2?
I bought a lottery ticket. What? I'm not a millionaire. Like, it's one of those nurturing, growing relationships where you have with your clients, right? And it's not today your sale comes through, it's probably 6 months down the track, right? And I think in the big corporates, whilst I was working in there, there's also that 18-month project timeline where results don't come instantly, but they foresee a marketing plan behind it, or a certain product or a certain plan to expect results in 18 months.
Yeah, correct.
Right? It's never, well, unless it's like an instant cashback offer in my world that has a timely timeline. It will be pushed. But for example, any changes in mindset on how you want to view a perception, or a certain benefit that you want to release based on your product offering, it's not recognized instantly.
I guess it's the same as it's very similar to it takes 3 weeks to adopt a habit or to change a habit, right? It's the same with marketing. It takes about 3 to 6 months for you to then see results come through. Or
even a sign of results.
Exactly. Because like when you're first doing marketing when I'm first doing marketing for a client, especially since they're all small businesses, the following's not that big, right? And a lot of the time it's not consistent posting. So the audience sees your post, then I forget about you for like a week, 2 weeks. So it takes time to build that audience and to build that engagement. And so I think that's definitely one misconception that a lot of small businesses have, is that they're like, I've been with you for a month and I have had no leads come through. And it's like, well, how well nurtured were your audience before I took over, So I think that's one thing that small businesses don't really understand, is that it does take time. It's not overnight results for sure.
I definitely agree. Like I was saying, the 18-month timeline in corporations, right? Isn't that called like a waterfall project? Or the agile project, something like that. Is it a waterfall or an agile? Like, these are all business terms that I guess the community don't know, the small businesses don't know, because we're not trained in that mindset. So I guess there's a lot of intake and experience that we have had as professionals in the last 10 years that we bring value back into small business owners. Right? And I think it's important to say that there is a trial period with you. And if it works, great, keep going. But there's also a period of time where you're like, hey, let's walk away from this. It's not magic, right?
I think the difference between me and other marketing agencies is that I don't lock my clients into 12-month terms, right? Because I do understand in the area of small businesses, cash flow could be a little bit difficult, and I think that's where I have marketed my prices quite reasonable for small businesses specifically. So for me, 6 months would be ideal for you to then start seeing results, because there's a lot of growth kind of required for small businesses.
That's
right?
true.
They still need to establish their presence with their audience.
That's true.
Audiences may not even know who they are. And so it's about, getting the audience to know who they are.
That's true. And building that a day at a
relationship.
time.
Yeah.
Whether it's one
Correct.
post at a time,
Yeah.
whether it's a free promotion or a campaign, or whether it's a new product offering or something like
Yeah.
that, or a new way of perceiving this product, or a new way of advertising, or that's going to target this platform,
Yeah.
or Facebook locations. Let's target Instagram for this particular market of people, or let's go to TikTok and let's do a bit of a storytelling.
I think one thing that people don't realize is that the audience or the type of content that they're posting on Instagram, on Facebook, and on TikTok or Twitter, X it's called now, right?
X, yes.
I mean, honestly, I never used X, so but or even LinkedIn.
Yeah.
The audiences are so different.
They are.
Yes, the same person is on all of those platforms. However, the
results,
the content that they're expecting to see on each of those platforms are different because of the
nature of the platform.
Correct. Yeah. You don't go to LinkedIn to see pretty athleisure wear, or see people working out. It's just not the platform for it.
No, that's correct. And there's a misconception there where one solution fits all.
Yeah.
No,
it's not.
Multiple platforms,
Yeah.
different reaches, different types of audience. What they find engaging is different to each and every platform, correct?
Yeah, very, and so just tailoring your content to each one of those platforms.
And a lot of time.
It does take a lot of time.
A lot of brain power.
That's where I come in.
That's where you come in. Correct.
No, but honestly, I'm happy to chat to anyone who wants tips, tricks.
Yeah.
Or just ideas, people to bounce ideas off.
That's true.
Bounce ideas. Yeah.
And networking is a huge thing in marketing as well.
Yes,
We can't stop that from happening.
No.
And people do get together and talk, right? The power of word of mouth is huge.
Yes.
And I found that very, very quickly in my world.
Yeah.
So I guess reach out to Lily if you have any marketing questions, or if you're interested in offloading that marketing function to her. Right? So I guess thank you for coming on the podcast, and we are hosting a live workshop very soon.
Yes.
So come meet Lily live in person, come ask questions, come with your problems.
Yeah, come with questions or
Right.
things they need solutions to. Happy to chat and try and offer some kind of advice to those issues.
Because what we want is an approachable workshop where people have questions, we are able to interact, and there's no filter.
No.
We're very honest. If it's possible, it's possible. If it's something that requires a bit more attention, we'll tell you. And I think that's about it, Lily. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun.
Enjoyed your talk. Well, we will be hosting a live workshop, so please stay tuned on our event page at Fairfield HQ. And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.